Hey everybody, welcome back. Curtis with ThatTurboDakota. I have my helper with me. We are back out here in the shop. I'm getting ready to start pulling some of the interior out of the Dakota so we can start mounting up this Dominator. Let's get into it. So initially, I want to take the Dominator and stick it in this area right back through here because I do want it accessible because, you know, in the future I'm going to add different accessories. But what I found out, what I was really quick to find out, is it's just not enough width between the center console and the back of the truck to fit it. The thing is, you know, it's fairly long and fairly wide. And I do want to try to keep the interior of the truck, you know, as together as I can. So what I think I have decided to do is I pulled both of the seats out. As you can tell, passenger seat sitting there on the ground. I do believe I'm going to put it under the seat. I know Holley actually makes a mount for the Fox body Mustangs, something like this, where it's, you know, it's like a flat piece of steel that's a little bit bent up and would bolt to the seat brackets one way or another. I did slide this thing under that seat before I started just to make sure there's no clearance issues, and as long as I keep it between the rails, it's fine. It still has 2 inches or so. So then I took my fly and lead harness, I kind of mocked it up in there with the power harness, just to see, you know, what it's going to be like. I'll probably sit the chair back in it one more time. My big thing, though, is as far as my fuses go, and excuse the glare so we can change the focus. Yeah, a little bit too much light. Story of my life. Right? Every time we do this, I mess with this light. So anyway, we'll come out here. So this thing right here is an MSD solid state relay block. You may or may not have seen this, but it's pretty slick. It gets this main 12 volts here, and then I believe this one over here on the right hand side in the bottom is just a small ground, and then you can trigger it with either grounds or 12 volt power, and then you have 4 outs. And I do believe each one of these outputs on this thing will support about 20 continuous amps. They do make a high output version, and it is a solid state. So what that means is, as far as my, you know, none of this really needs solid state except for the trans brake, which you see as I have labeled right there. What I can do with this Dominator is I can do a bump and a trans brake button on the steering wheel coming out of this same output, and it'll be pulse width modulated, and that's why you need that solid state relay. A regular relay can't do that. It does not have the ability just to open and close really fast, which would allow me to bump into the lights. So I'm actually going to get another one of these. So I have one for these functions right here, which, you know, in the future I do plan on going Hemi. So I've got injector, coil pack. This is a 12 volt power in the middle, trans brake, and torque converter. I kind of want to keep it all together, but there's just not enough room. So probably what I'm going to do is take this one, and then the other solid state relay that I'm end up getting, and that's going to run 3 fuel pumps and a couple other things like the trans fans. I'm going to put it over on this side right here, and they're going to be close. You know, they're obviously not where I want it to, but it is a single cab truck. And another thing is, for the future, eventually this truck's going to get a cage. So you're going to have some down bars running through here. You know, there's going to be bars all over the place. And what I don't want to do is I don't want to mount this stuff anywhere where it's going to be hard to get to. You know, I don't want to mount it, you know, try to hide it behind any of these kick panels or nothing. I want it out in the open towards the center of the truck. So again, I'll put one or both of them on that other side. I think that's going to work. And then as far as the wiring goes, probably cut a small slit in the carpet. Of course, I'm going to have some accessories stuff. I haven't decided if I'm going to run it down through the center or maybe run it back here and then run it down along the side, you know, to wherever we end up putting our bulkheads. But again, you know, just kind of figuring out as we go, you know, had to kind of mock this thing up. So, let me get back on it. I think I'm going to make a template to make our mount real quick out of some cardboard. Then I can transfer it over some metal, and we'll get rolling on that. Okay, so we're back. It's Monday. I came out here and kind of changed my mind on some things. Originally, I was going to mount it to the rear of the seat where the bolts are there and there. I kind of got to messing around with the cardboard and decided it wasn't a good idea. So what I did, made another cardboard template. Now we're going to bolt it from the front. So made my template, laid it on my 16 gauge steel, took a cheap Harbor Freight bender, put a bend in it. I know my bolt holes will line up. I'm going to put another bend in it about 4 inches from here so it lays a bit more flat. Looks like I'm going to have to notch it around here. And then we'll take Dominator, something like that. That, still not quite sure about. We'll see how it goes. I still have to lay the seat and stuff in here, but we're getting there a little bit at a time. Okay, so pulled the seat out for you guys. There's my pan. So it just follows the contour of the edge of the truck. Nothing that's a big deal. You can see that, again, that strip I had to weld on. No big deal. Everything's looking good. Pretty happy with the way it turned out. I am going to take it and put it on a sander and just kind of square the edges up just a little bit. Not that it really matters. The Dominator, when you buy a brand new Dominator, it actually comes with nuts and bolts and isolators already installed. But what I decided to do is I'm going to do nut certs in it. So I ordered a nut cert gun and nut certs off of Amazon. We'll walk over here. They're on the bench. We'll check it out. You see my helper. Helper's always checking things out. She is the good girl. Walk around here real quick. Nut certs, metric and standard. If you've never seen one of these things, they're actually pretty cool. I've used them in the past. This one actually just came off Amazon. It's hard to do this with one-handed. So, nut cert gun. It comes with different dies. They do a bunch of different metric and standard sizes. Basically, what these things are, here called nut certs or nut rivets. There's a die that threads into the center of that thing. You drill a hole in your sheet metal, and it's just like a rivet. You open up the handles, and when you close them back up, it kind of pinches that thing, or that nut, it pinches this little thing in there, and then it just adds threads. It's pretty cool. I like that better than nut and bolting the Dominator to it. And it's just a little bit cleaner, but again, they make a bunch of different sizes. Actually, the bags are actually, they've got them writing on them, so you can tell which one it is, what thread pitch, metric, M10s are decent size. But yeah, so gonna take the thing, go over here, truck, pull the pan back out, square the edges up, nut cert it in, scuff it, put a little paint on it, and get the thing installed. So I'm going to do some of that stuff, and then we'll come back and look at the final products. Okay, so I took my new nut cert gun, ended up breaking one of the dies. I mean, the very first nut cert. That tool, you get a lot of leverage with that tool, and it actually has a thing on it that you can preload it, so you're able to shut the handles, crimp the nut cert at the same time. And I don't know what I was thinking. I just went too hard. So ordered another one of these off prime. It'll be here tomorrow. Went ahead and took the thing, scuffed it up, wiped it down. I've got VHC roll bar paint that I put on it. I really like using that stuff. It's pretty stout. If you've never used it, you should check it out. So I got that going now. I'm going to end this video off here. I appreciate you guys watching. When we come back, probably going to end up pulling the dash out of the thing, get our military bulkhead, figure out where I want to put that exactly. In the beginning of the video, I tell you what, I do want to show you guys how that nut cert gun actually works without, obviously breaking anything off. So whoops, only human. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys next video.